So I was talking to a girlfriend of mine today, and we're both realizing that in our previous relationships that basically God showed us that those relationships weren't going to be long term, like they weren't going to last. We both had realized at a certain point, like, oh, I see that this person is just here so that I can learn his lesson or so that I can experience this thing or because we have some karma with each other that we need to work out. And like, but also the understanding like truly deep down that like these aren't these aren't like our life partners. And it's such a mind trip. It's such a mind trip because when you're in a relationship, like you really don't want to think about the fact that the relationship is going to end or that it's not long term, because me personally, I'm like a very loyal, committed person, and it's just weird to be in a relationship while also knowing that it's going to end. Also knowing that it's not going to be a long-term relationship. And then, while you're in it, you never realize or fully understand like all the lessons that you're going to learn, why you're going through all this stuff, why there are problems happening, um, until years later after that. And then you reflect and you're like, oh, I understand why I needed to go through all this. I understand the lessons here. I understand, um, why that was necessary because before that relationship, I thought I was ready for, I thought I knew what I actually wanted in a relationship. But it wasn't until that I had that relationship that I knew wasn't going to last that I actually fully knew and understood what I wanted in a relationship. And most importantly, what I did not want in a relationship. Yeah. Yeah. And for me, thankfully, that relationship didn't last long. Um, I suppose it could have gone on longer, but I didn't want it to because I knew that it wasn't going to last. And as like a loyal person, I don't know. And it's funny because when I first met him, I told him that our relationship wasn't going to last. Like I told him, I was like, hey, like I have this strong intuition that like our if we date that like we're not supposed to be dating. And um we did it anyway. We did it anyway. Um, but I call that, what do I want to call that? I call it, I don't know, I feel like God letting us in on a little secret. I feel like most people, going into relationships, unless you're like intentionally going in for like a fling or something casual, but I don't do that. But like most people, like you don't go into a relationship knowing how it's going to end, knowing how it's going to go. Like that's the fun of a relationship is like discovering each other and going on journeys and adventures and learning about yourself and each other through the relationship. Like that's the fun of the relationship. And now granted I still had a lot of fun in that relationship, but it was, I feel like just having that looming in the back of my mind that I just knew it wasn't going to be long term. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say that I wish I hadn't known because I like to know things. I like to know things. I like to know where things are going. That's that's something that like I if I can know, then tell me what's going to happen. Tell me, I want to know. Let's pull some cards. Let's go there. Um yeah, and I would think I would want to know if I had the opportunity to choose again, if I get to know how the relationship's going to go, then I will want to know. Because I think about other previous relationships, like when I was younger, like if I knew how those were going to end up, I would have liked to have known beforehand so that I can just say no to that person and move on. So I'm curious if any of you have experienced that sort of intuition going into a relationship of like getting like a clear message that it's not going to be a long-term relationship, but um you still need to go through with it. Like you still need to have this relationship with this person to work through something or karmically or whatever. I feel like if you get it, you get it and you understand what I'm asking. And I feel like if you're confused, then this just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. I don't can't explain that to you right now. But if you get it, you get it.